Hello and welcome to Writing Today. In this episode, I'm going to be doing a book review of Metro 2034 by Dmitry Glukhovksy. As always, you can find this book review on my website, thepentsleuth.com. You can find a link to that in the description below. On my website, you'll find this book review along with many others, articles on writing, and some of my work. So now, Metro 2034. It follows a new expedition through the metro and its various dangerous tunnels. Sevastopol, a station that is often under siege by monsters and bandits, is running low on ammunition and other supplies. Only problem is now the communications have gone down, so requesting new supplies from other stations is impossible. Every party of soldiers sent to investigate this breakdown in communications never returns. Luckily, a grizzled soldier at Sebastopol station takes up the task and requests the assistance of a storyteller named Homer. The two embark on a thrilling adventure which has various encounters and a mysterious threat. Now this review will contain minor spoilers for Metro 2033, but will be a spoiler-free review of Metro 2034. So let's get into it. Sebastopol Station is the station that sees the most action in the metro. Mostly, they face monsters and mutants that lurk in the tunnels. Yet, as long as there are guards at their posts and bullets in their guns, these invading threats can be blocked from taking over the station. Yet, with communications down, Sebastopol cannot request ammunition and other important supplies to keep the station under control. Soldiers are sent to investigate, but then go missing. The task falls upon a final party of soldiers. This party of soldiers, much like Artyom in Metro 2033, stumbles upon many small stories affecting them in large ways, or simply they are being there for the ride. New characters and developments are made during the story, and although it is pretty separate from the story of Metro 2033, it still adds some information as to what happened after the last book ended. After all, the book is called Metro 2034 and takes place about a year later after the events of Metro 2033. And while there are small snippets of information that will add to the story for Metro 2033 and answer some questions as to what happened afterwards, mainly the story focuses on this party of soldiers and their particular task that they undertake. Now for the characters. First, we have Homer, one of the main characters in the story, and the one who will receive the most focus. He is one of the soldiers in this small group. He is an old man, but not so old that he refuses such an adventure that can inspire his book. Second is Hunter, who has returned mysteriously, just as mysteriously as he disappeared in Metro 2033. Hunter plays the second main character in the story, and we get to know a lot more about him over the events of the story. Yet he remains a cold, dark individual, even more so than his brief appearance in 2033. Thirdly, we have Sasha, a young girl and daughter of a banished man. She is naive at times, then wise at other times. A tough life gives her this knowledge, this sense of people, but having lived a very secluded life, she still shows her inexperience when traversing the tunnels. She is more the hopeful side of the three main characters. So unlike the story of Metro 2033, where Artyom is encountering several characters which help him along the way, these three characters are the core of the story. Their adventure as they go deeper into the metro to solve these problems and face these mysterious threats becomes a story of self-development, especially for Sasha. For characters such as Homer and Hunter, they're simply doing their job in this case, being the adults. So what development they have is nothing compared to the development of a young girl who has lived, as I said before, a very secluded life up till now. Now for writing style, I have discussed Glukhovsky's writing style in the previous video, when I was talking about Metro 2033, and not much has changed. He still conveys tension well at the right moments, and he also still conveys the dark atmosphere of the post-apocalyptic Metro well. Now, the Metro 2033 book is about twice as long as Metro 2034, so you could finish this book in about half the time, 2 to 3 days. And also, it is recommended for ages 16 and up. It is obviously a post-apocalypse, so there are some dark moments that address some controversial themes. However, I feel that it's a lot softer compared to Metro 2033. Unfortunately, Metro 2034 was a disappointing sequel for me. I felt that this was a story that could have easily been told as a side story in Metro 2033 rather than a whole book. The events of the story just felt incidental, lacking significance, and the second half of the story felt like an incoherent mess. I noticed right from the beginning that the surreal aspects of the first novel would not be in this one, which I thought would make the structure a bit more sound and believable. Yet it proved to be the opposite. The story has a lot more action than the first, which I believe is good because it suits the kind of character that Hunter is. There were a few good scenes that I enjoyed, but I found myself losing patience with Homer, who has inner monologues frequently and in great length. It quickly stopped being interesting as soon as I realized it was just padding to get the novel to be a decent length. Metro 2033 I felt was a great novel and a great example of science fiction post-apocalyptic stories, and it could stand well on its own. However, I feel that 2034 is a sequel that is hollow and rides on the coattails of 2033's success. I'm aware that Glukhovksy has written another book, Metro 2035, which returns to the story of Artyom, and it has received a better reception than Metro 2034. So I'm hopeful that it is a return to form and it has something that I can really sink my teeth into, whereas 2034 simply doesn't. So while Metro 2034 was a disappointment for me, it might not be for you. If you enjoyed Metro 2033, I still recommend that you read 2034. It has information which I found very interesting as it adds to the story. Found that the exploration of the character Hunter was great, even though at some points I feel that it was a letdown in some areas. It was still good to see this mysterious character that inspired Artyom and learn more about him. And if you have read Metro 2034, please let me know what you thought of the book in the comments below. And that brings us to the end of this review. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Be sure to check out my channel. I have a lot more content, not just book reviews, that might interest you. And if you do that, be sure to check out my website as well. I have tons of content there. And if you are interested in becoming a writer, I have several courses and even a free course there available if you want to check that out. So thank you for listening, and as always, good day, good night, and happy reading.